So that book was published 4 years ago, you said? Who was your publisher?
Well, I'll tell you how I found that. That's the first problem, of course. Oh. Well, I'll just leave it at that. Yeah.
That's great.
Say anything much.
So the Kurt Hahn was his name. Wow, this is great. So how did you find the publisher?
Well, I started out when it was half written. I started every month writing to one agent and one publisher, and when I got to the end, I just sent it out to a whole flock of them at once. It's not so nice to do. I got responses from half a dozen agents and one serious publisher, University of Illinois Press. He was seriously interested. I think he had a prior interest in the subject. Oh, then I began sending it to people that I knew were interested in Hahn. And that's the way I actually found the publisher, because the publisher had taken an outward bound course with one of the people I wrote to, who was an official in the organization, you know, so he told him about it. And so for me, that was the way to go at it as a complete outsider, to find people that want the book to be published because they're interested in it, and then ask them to find somebody.
Did the book sell well?
I expect it did. We never made a contact outside of the people that already know about Hahn. I tried to go after public school teachers, but they're not reachable, and I don't think they read books anyway. So we never broke out of that circle, and for reasons I can't fathom, his biggest group, now 4 million alumni from something called the award scheme, not a single order, and I went to everybody there, and I think they just don't believe that Hahn really found it, or they never heard of it.
Well, what's the award scheme? What does that mean?
The award scheme is a little bit modeled on Outward Bound, but it's not a youth organization at all. Each individual boy or girl decides they want to go after these awards, these medals, and they're all on their own. They get the 4 objectives that they're supposed to meet standards in. And then they go out and look for somebody in their community that can tutor them or help them. So they have 10 years, say 15 to 25, to keep going at it.
So did Hahn think of this idea himself, or is it a derivative?
He conceived it and he made it happen.
I see. So Outward Bound came out of that then, or is it a different activity?
Outward Bound was much easier. Hahn's great contribution was to the conception, then the creation during wartime was easy because a major shipbuilder wanted something like that to train the kids going into the merchant marine and how to live on in the lifeboats, you know, and so they started this sea school, 6 weeks I think, sea school for these young fellows going into the merchant marine. Yeah, Han, the curriculum was his. Although we didn't know anything about boats, they had to get other people for that. And he, without him, it would have stopped at that one school. He pushed it after the war and got schools all over the world.
And that's what this picture in the back is of the lifeboat activity?
That was literally my school and my year. Yeah, in fact, that boy in front is Dennis. He was the other American boy.
Oh.
They're launching a cutter which sails or 10 oars, either way.
So you're standing in the front of the boat, pushing it off?
Dennis is standing off to the left in front, sort of directing everything.
And you're there too?
And I don't think I'm on that picture. That was when I got there, they had already launched these boats.
That's fascinating. Now, and what city was this in again, where you were?
I think I have maps in there. Let me
Sure.
And unfortunately, I photographed maps, very high resolution. I'm showing small areas, but too many things in it. You can't find anything.
I see. It's hard to get organized, get oriented.
You simply can't find it, and you're lost. And there's too many words. Where did they put this? I thought they were right in the front. If you want to get a good picture of me, you'd have to go back about 20, 30 years.
I just wanted to record your thoughts here about the book, so that's why I'm just shooting a little tape.
Maps, they did put them in here, I'm sure.
So you read lots of World War II history in order to help position the book, understand the forces
About
involved?
half of the book deals with how the school coped with the Nazi regime through the war.
I see.
And so there was a lot of reading about what was going on domestically in Germany. Well, I began, I'm sure it was here. I'm going to find it. That's the list of illustrations.
I'll look through it. I'll look through it and see. I'm sure it's in there somewhere.
List of illustrations. I think she did a nice job on this book. She put in things I wouldn't have bothered with, such as index, a list of references.
It looks. I like the cover design and
Not bad.
it's nicely done. I mean,
Yeah. Some of the publisher's crap is on there, but not too much. I don't see any list of maybe they didn't. I could swear I saw them in there, and you just couldn't make out anything. There's thousands of names on one page.
been around. You just rotate it.
The inner ring.
And is that what is that stone in the middle?
Well, it's not a precious stone. It's quartz embedded with those dark crystals of titanium dioxide.
Really, where did it come from?
I think probably many places.
That's beautiful. When did you make that?
Just finished it a year ago.
How long did it take?
Well, I was so slow.
Did you design it yourself?
I got to the deadline for a show and then I didn't finish it all.
Did you design it yourself?
Yeah, I thought I did.
It's very nice.
Yeah, I like the stone. And
Very nice.
I sort of designed it as I went along. Most of my tools are inside this box. I have a few after like this. This is handy. Relatively few people would have that at home.
That's a cutting machine.
It's a cutting machine, and that is a sanding belt.
This is a sanding belt, okay.
And of course this and this is what everybody has to have.
What is that?
Flexible shaft that spins for drilling.
Oh, like a moto tool. And is that used for polishing?
It's used for hundreds of things, or dozens of things. There's a couple candle holders. Not very. No, you can't use. They don't really make good gifts. You know? I began to realize I was going to end with the whole basement full of candlestick holders if I kept doing that.
No, those are nice. Oh, that's beautiful. So the glass cup sits there.
The cup has a little votive candle.
It's very nice. And why do you have the copper sheet? Is that an important part of the work too, or?
The metal. Well, that's what you start with. I just got a lot of.
Oh, you start with copper and then add the silver later?
No. Use them separately.
Oh, I see.
Use them separately. Make things of copper. Brass.
You have gold and nickel also?
I have never worked with gold. I have nickel. I have worked with gold. It's much too expensive.
This is a cooling area here, the stones. Did you use your torch?
Yeah, it's a good humus, whatever that is.
So you can blow it with a acetylene torch and it won't ignite.
It won't ignite, and it's good to put things on.
That's great. Very impressive.